about a 7.5-hour leg, and we were supported, outstandingly supported by the Australian KC-30 and C-17. KC-30 refueled the two F-35s on that leg. We did about 7 refueling brackets, and as I said, popped into Hawaii tonight. From there, over to Guam, similar profile the next day, and then from Guam into Ambly last Monday. Jacko now overshooting from his approach. As I mentioned, we haven't had a chance to do that as yet, and therefore the display itself is somewhat limited, but hopefully you're still getting a good example of what the F-35 is capable of. The next generation of jet aircraft, Australia's 5th generation fighter. Speed of Mach 1.6 fighter aircraft at Boston Meteor, the F-8. That's where it all started, just in the tail end of World War II. The F-35, the JSF, brings it into the current. Air Force Base in Pheonix, Arizona, and they are effectively assigned to a US Air Force squadron whilst over there based F-35s, and they'll return here to Australia in December of next year. The F-35 aiming to replace their classic Hornet. That it is. Currently slated to replace all 4 of our classic Hornet squadrons, starting with 3 Squadron, transitioning to 2 OCU, our number 2 operational conversion unit, and our own schoolhouse, before we transition to 77 and 75 Squadron. Now, while Jacko is a bit of a showboat, that landing technique there is not actually showing off. It's called aerodynamic braking, and the reason you do that is you keep your landing wheel, your nose landing gear off the ground for as long as possible. You get an increase in airflow hitting the underside of the wings, which slows you down more efficiently.
And superiority of Legion when airborne, and particularly all this is going to be proven and seen over the years to come. Photographic opportunities, I believe, as the Joint Strike Fighter backtracks on the runway. But the reminder coming up soon is the 1-hour battle space demonstration, where a significant number of Australian Defence Force aircraft will take part in a demonstration of an operation where the airfield out there to the west has been occupied by forces who are not desirable, and the battle space scenario will endeavour to take care of those. Fighter, the F-35A. And we commend Squadron Leader Andrew Jackson. And for those students in the audience, Andrew Jackson graduated from the Australian Defence Force Academy, just like you graduate from school, and he's gone up through the tier of Air Force
for an Avalon. The lead's looking outside, flying, and on the wing, of course, they're just looking at the lead, getting the lines. Number 4 is working very hard to stay in there. You So that's the propellers going supersonic at the indicated airspeed that they're doing, which is about 200 knots on the exit. And
these aircraft, 600 horsepower. It's Sky Aces that flew the earlier display in the pits. Two of those were 400 horsepower, but a lot lighter airframe. And then when you look at these and compare them to the PC-9, that's about 950 shaft horsepower.
The Harvard, this aircraft known as the Harvard was in the advanced trainer in the Commonwealth countries during the Second World War. The PC-9 that we know today with the roulettes flying is the equivalent to this day. So this aircraft in front of you was the PC-9 of the World War II era.
Guys there. I don't know, I think they tried. I wouldn't go ground, absolutely. Go ground. I think that's not bad for flying.
Yeah, this is only a mock-up. Yeah, this thing by itself would be over $1 million.
Really?
Apparently. Oh no, easy, it'll be a couple of million.